Hello, my name is Jeff, and this is my Java 2 final project. The basic overview is that we wanted to make an ordering system for either restaurants or, say, a meal prep type business. The idea behind it was to make life easier for people with busy schedules, to allow them to place orders for pickup, so that way they don't have to fuss around with doing all the prep, cooking, and cleaning. Initially, for the scope of it, we had a lot of ideas for the project and where it could go. But ultimately, we came up with a really big list, and given the time frames, we had to end up scaling back just to ensure that we could have an app that was functional, at least to hit, minimum viable product, if you would. We ended up using things like Java, Spring Boot, Lombok, MySQL, basic whatever your web browser, dbeaver, and CSS. I Part of what I did for this project was that I implemented the appetizer side and the meal classes, and then their associated controllers, repos, and web files. I did make a script to insert items into the database, but I had some problems getting dbeaver to use the next val function, so the app would get errors trying to insert an item into what was saved as the current val compared to what the actual current val is. So I just manually inserted things for the purpose of showing this video. So here on the main screen that it loads to, you can see some meals that we've already put in. We have an ability here to add ingredients, appetizers, entrees, and sides, and then also to create a meal and create an order. And then, of course, you can view all of those things: ingredients, appetizers, entrees, sides, so on and so forth. Through all those, you have the ability to perform CRUD operations. So, like, I can edit or delete Bill's meal here. He wanted the T-bone, but let's say he's wants to go with a salad instead, and then a soup. And so we can change Bill's meal here, or we can delete it entirely, or we can recreate Bill's meal here if he decides, oh, maybe I want to do, let's do some ribs instead, and I want the cream corn and mozzarella sticks. And so with the creation of the meal, we can then add orders, and we'll make Jeff's order here. And we can add any of the meals that have been made. So we can add Jeff and Bill's meal. Let's put on a 20% tip for the standard, and then we can submit the order. Now here I already have an order. This one is a second Jeff's order that I had made. We can actually confirm that as an employee, which would delete the order and send it to its own separate table to show that. That way, if we need to pull the order back up, we can, or we can edit and confirm. Confirm just sends to a basic confirmation page. The only thing that I would do differently next time is to just make better use of the scheduled time. There were some times where there were some hiccups with the scheduled meetings, which didn't end up being a huge deal. But I just feel like better communication about any delays or absences to those meetings would be a better use going forward. Um, we did implement some JavaScript in order to do some validations. One thing that we wanted to do that could make things more secure is we wanted to implement a username and password system that would separate functionality between users and employees. That way, say, users could create meals and orders, but they wouldn't be able to add ingredients or sides or anything like that, compared to the employees that could add sides or appetizers based on changing menu, and then, confirm or delete orders as need be. We could also implement some constraints with regex to help reduce possible injections, although the JavaScript does a fairly decent enough part of that. And we could obviously, like probably a lot of things, implement more validations on the back end. We do have JavaScript on the front end to help prevent, uh, null data from being entered, but um, could do more implementations. I said it's a pretty rough version of the project, and where it could go could scale infinitely just based on creativity. But that's what we have. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy.